order of operations. That's the order in which you perform mathematical operations. First, you do things inside of the parentheses or other grouping symbol. We'll talk about that in a later section. Then exponents, then multiply, divide, then add, subtract. You'll notice I put multiply and divide on the same line, and it's not multiply and then divide. It depends on how the expression is written. Same thing with adding and subtracting. For both of these, you do it in the order that it appears, left to right, unless you're using special rules that we'll talk about later. Let's do some examples. If you have 5 plus 3 times 2, you do the multiplication first. So that's 5 plus 6, which is 11. Here we have 5 next to a parentheses with an operation inside. So because there's an operation inside the parentheses, we do that first. And then in math, when things are touching, that implies that those are multiplied. So 5 times 6 is 30. Here we have 15 divided by 3 times 5. And you might think we multiply first because it says multiply, divide. But remember, they have the same importance in the order of operations. So you go left to right in the order that it appears. So we'll do 15 divided by 3 first, which is 5. Then we multiply by 5, and we get 25. So when you have multiply and divide all together, you go left to right in the order it appears, unless you follow the special rules. And that rule is that the operation in front of a number belongs to that number. So we're dividing by 3 and multiplying by 6. So we can trade these as long as we take the operation and the number together. So we could do this in the following order: 5 times 6 divided by 3. If you want, you'll get the same answer, but this one's a little bit easier. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. Here we have 2 cubed divided by 8 times 17. So we do the exponent before multiplying or dividing. 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then we go left to right, unless we use a special rule. So 8 divided by 8 is 1. And 1 times 17 is 17. Let's try another one. So we have addition and exponent, division, multiplication. We'll do the exponent first. 10 squared is 10 times 10. So that's going to be 100. And then we do the multiply and divide before adding or subtracting. So we'll do the division first because that's the order in which it appears. 100 divided by 20 is 5. And then we multiply. And then add. Let's try another one. So remember, we do the parentheses first. What do you do if you have two sets of parentheses? Well, in this case, the parentheses are dependent because one set of parentheses is inside of the other set. When one set of the parentheses is inside of the other, you simplify that parentheses first. So we simplify the innermost parentheses first. That means we do 10 minus 8 first. I'm just going to copy the rest of the problem down directly underneath. And taking it slow like that step by step helps you keep track of what you did. 10 minus 8 is 2. And now that we've simplified everything inside the parentheses and the result is positive, we no longer need the parentheses. So the 3 is touching. That means it's times. And we get 2. Now we still have operations inside the parentheses. We're going to multiply before we add. And you might be tempted to do this 2 plus 3 first, but you'll notice it's 3 times the result of all of this. So you have to finish everything inside of these parentheses, then multiply by 3, and then add 2. So here we have 2 plus 6. We're still working on the inside of the parentheses. 2 plus 6 is 8. 3 times 8, 24. 2 plus 24, 26. So you probably noticed these parentheses have a different shape. You can also call them brackets, but they mean the exact same thing. You might be wondering, why do they use a different shape? And it's basically to make it easier to see that this parentheses belongs with this one, and this belongs with this. Let's try another one. And if you want, you could hit pause and finish it, and then hit play to check. All right, there's 2 sets of parentheses. One set is inside of the other set. That means they are dependent. That means we're going to simplify the innermost parentheses first. So 11 minus 9 is 2. The 2 is touching the parentheses. That means that's multiply. We're still working inside the parentheses. So we'll multiply that. Still have an operation inside the parentheses. The 2 is touching the parentheses, so that's a times. Then you multiply. Before adding. 5 and 14 make 19. And that's that.